I'm very honored to follow Elaine, and I must say, Mayor Hales was an awesome mayor. And he accomplished things that I don't think any of us since then have been able to do. I just think he was an amazing man. And he was willing to sacrifice and make it happen. Great man. My tenure as mayor began because of him. I'd served on the city council for a couple of years, and he said, "Jim, you ought to consider running for mayor." He said, "It's fun." Well, maybe he didn't say that, but and so I began my tenure as mayor in 1997. 1997. So. Oh, 98. That's right, 98. I had a great, as mayor, things were made easy by a wonderful council. As mayor, you basically just have to kind of control the conduct of the council, keep them all in line, and if there are any arguments, you have to kind of intervene and solve the conflicts, but the council are the ones that did the work. And so I just went along for the ride, and it was great. Wonderful council members. I think Leonard was with me through both terms that I served. And there were other great councilmen during that time. And a great planning commission. I think Frank Mon was the chairman of the planning commission. A wonderful staff. Wonderful employees that did their jobs well. They all had a great interest in seeing Pleasant View move forward. And they did all they could to make that happen. I guess one of the first things that occurred after I became mayor was an issue with gravel trucks. I don't know if that's still going on today, but thank goodness not. But that was one of the main issues of the time back then. And the trucks would come off 500 West, some of them going at a pretty good speed as they came over the hill, and by the time they neared the bottom, they realized they couldn't stop. And brakes burned up, and we had about 3 trucks that actually rolled over at the bottom of the hill. One even took out a corner of Lee Valentine's home, as I remember. Fortunately, there were no personal injuries through all of this. And of course, the council and as a city, we wanted to stop these trucks. We wanted to keep them off 500 West. Not only the hazard that they presented because of the noise and the dust they created, but we found out that our hands were tied. We could do nothing to restrict them from using that highway, that road. If we were to restrict them, we would have to restrict not only gravel trucks, but delivery trucks, garbage trucks, even school buses. Well, that didn't work, did it? So the best we could do is draft an ordinance, which the council did, that would require the trucks to stop at the top of 500, gear the truck down into the lowest gear, and then proceed down the right side of the road at a slow pace. We didn't have any more accidents after that, but we still had noise and dust, and I am sorry to those residents that lived on 500 for all that, I guess, heartache that they had to suffer through those times. I think it was in about 2003, working with the mayors from North Ogden and Harrisville, as part of the Northview Fire Department, we constructed a new fire station down on 2550. And that began a that was a wonderful time because it moved the firemen out of a little building that they'd been in for many years. And it was a wonderful addition. Of course, we had to convince North Ogden that Pleasant View and Harrisville were also part of that department. That wasn't always easy. But we had discussions quite frequently about the future and of the fire station. And in as much as there were 3 cities involved, it seemed only natural that each city should have a station, a substation in Pleasant View, a substation in Harrisville. And so we discussed that frequently and began budgeting and planning for that to occur. Well, I left office in, what year? 2005. And in 2017, I think it's just right here, this beautiful fire station was dedicated. I commend, I don't know who, Mayor, I guess it was the mayors that continued the vision that we had back then. And the fire chiefs that were involved. This is a wonderful addition to our community. And I hear, I don't have total evidence of it, but they're considering now another substation in Harrisville as well, which would be wonderful. During this time, it was about 2003, we had a ribbon cutting, a groundbreaking, I should say, for the 2700 North Highway going from North Ogden out to the freeway. That happened during my time. I got to go back to the fire station. Back in that time, Jay Wadman was doing some development of property here that included this site, and I think there was about 6 acres here that was wetlands. And so he gave that property to the city for a nature park. And that's where we're sitting here today. And knowing that someday in the future we would like to have a fire station, I had the privilege of meeting with Jay, Larry, a great man. And of course he not only donated the park, but he agreed to give up an acre of land for this fire station up here to be built. And so when it came time to build the station, there was no cost to the fire department, to Northview at all for that. And generous man, good man. During my time as mayor, served on the Central Weber Sewer Improvement District. I served as chairman out there during a time when we were reaching capacity of the district, and with all the growth that was taking place, it was obvious we needed to expand, and so we went into a large expansion project. And I don't know, I imagine you're reaching that time when you're going to have to expand again, Mayor.
I'm retired.
We did a general plan update during that time. We drilled a new well up above Pole Patch. We drilled initially in one area, went down about 600 feet. The driller said, I don't think we're going to find water here, and we moved to a location maybe 100 or so yards below. He said, now we're on the other side of the fault line. I don't know how he knew where the fault line was, but he figured he was, and he drilled a well. And is it still producing today? I think initially he was pumping 340 gallons a minute out of that.
Down a little bit, but
Still a good well. That's great. Towards the end of my tenure as mayor, we hired a city administrator and a planner to help with the city was growing, and we needed someone. We had designated the area west of Highway 89 as a commercial development area. We needed someone with some expertise to help develop that land out there. And The city administrator that we hired had that expertise. And then we had a city planner, and I suppose those offices have continued with the city down to the present day, haven't they? Well, at the end of my second term, I had decided that I was finished. And near the end of the filing period, I think the day before, I checked with the city office and no one had signed up. So I thought, well, it was really fun, you know, so maybe I can do 4 more years. And so I went over and threw my hat in. Well, the next day, another candidate filed, Mike Wright, and fortunately, he won the election. Took the fun away, and that led to a few months later of Tim Wheelwright becoming mayor, having that opportunity. And it's been a great opportunity to serve as mayor of Pleasant View. I'm not a native of Pleasant View, but I've been here since '71, and I can honestly say that I love the people of Pleasant View. They've been very good to me, even though I know that there were many that ate roast mayor for breakfast and dinner and supper, you know. I forgive them. It's been a great honor to serve as the mayor for a few years. Thank you.